the next question, I think because Japan. Oh, so windy. Sorry. Hi guys, it's Teresa from Japan, and I know that this video is going to be different from most of the video. Actually, all the videos that I have posted on this channel. So it's going to be all in English. Yeah. I've been having this idea for so long, since, I don't know, day one I've created this channel, which is I'm gonna do a talk show, kind of. Basically, I'm going to talk to foreigners living in Japan. Well, most of them are going to be my friends, so basically just hang out with friends and talk about life. But mostly we're going to talk about Japan, like how did they get here, how did they get the first job here, or why Japan. But of course, since most of them are foreigners, so they're not Thai and they're not Japanese. And of course, most of the interviews will be in English. So I'll make sure that I have subtitles right here, or if I don't have it right here, right now, just hit the CC button. I think it's right here, or maybe there. It depends on your device, I guess. I really hope that this talk show is going to benefit you one way or another. You know, like you can get to practice English here because I am an English teacher, so I'm offering you a free English listening practice. But most of all, I wanted to expand your aspects and ideas of living in Japan, like not only from my perspective, from my experience, but from my friends, from people around the world, what they think about Japan and why they chose Japan. So maybe if you keep watching the first episode, the second episode, the third episode, you might think like, if they can do that, then why can't I? So if you want to practice English, and if you like my idea of doing this video, or you don't have to like it, you just have to like me or like my channel or like something from my channel, just hit the like button and also share it with your friends and subscribe for more. Alright, if you're ready, let's go. Meet our first guest today. Alright, so now we're with the guests, and can you introduce yourself a little bit to
everybody? Alright, hello everybody, my name is Beto. Actually, my full name is Alberto Galindo, but everybody just calls me Beto because it's a little bit simpler. I am from Bogota, Colombia. I was born over there, but I grew up in Toronto, Canada.
What brought you here?
Not just one reason, I guess. Many people have this like big dream of coming to Japan and living this fantasy, let's say this anime world. I think that in my case, I like languages and I like traveling. So I'm like, okay, I'll combine both and I'll move to Japan to learn Japanese. And then apart from that, it's just traveling and coming to Asia, seeing how it is.
So a lot of people have asked me this, like, why Japan? Why not South Korea? Why not China? Why not other places in Asia?
I asked myself the same question, yeah. So it's like, and I just figured Japanese sounded a little bit more interesting to me at the time.
Well, when you first came here, you weren't in Tokyo. So where were you?
I was in Hiroshima for a while, for 6 years now. Not now, because now I live in Tokyo, and I'm glad I do. I like it over here, and I got to meet great people.
Yeah, because I've never been to Hiroshima, and now you've been like both. Can you compare Hiroshima and Tokyo? Because you know, like some of our viewers, they're like, I want to move to Tokyo, but then Tokyo is kind of expensive. So is Hiroshima like one of the choices that you would recommend?
It depends on the person, of course. Like some people, some of you guys will want to live in a smaller sized city, let's say a medium sized city. So then if that's your thing, yes, I think Hiroshima would be good. The cost of living, for example, what I've seen in Tokyo is that it's not as bad as people say. If you compare to Hiroshima, sure, like rent and all that is cheaper. To give you an example, usually rent over there in Hiroshima is around between 60,000 and 100,000 yen, which over here, what would you say is the average here?
For the size like 1K? 100,000, yeah. Can you describe like a 60,000 room in Hiroshima?
I would say for a 60,000, just outside of the city, the main part, 2 LDK, up to a 2 LDK.
You're kidding. You're from Colombia, and you live in Canada, and now you're here. So these three places, like, where would you recommend the most?
They're all good in their own way. Like, for example, if you go to Colombia, it's fun, right? Of course, the currency is not as strong as the Canadian dollar or the Japanese yen, so it depends on the job that you have. If you have a good job and you can get a good salary, then Colombia would be really fun. Of course, there's the whole security issue as well. Like if you are thinking of more of a safe country in terms of crime, then I would say Canada or Japan, especially Japan when it comes to crime. There's like little to none over here from what I've heard and seen. But Canada too, it's easy to live there. Very, very welcoming space for anybody from anywhere in the planet. So it's at least in Toronto, it's a melting pot. So everybody from every different country goes over there, and then we are all together. So you get to experience a little bit about the whole world without ever leaving the city. In Japan, I feel like we're a little bit more limited. One thing though that was very new to me was like natural disasters. I didn't see those. So then over here there are so many earthquakes, floods, or landslides, volcanoes erupting. Yeah.
Because it's been 6 years, right?
Right.
So are you used to that already, or you're still feeling like it's pretty new to you?
No, it's still pretty new. Still, it depends on the area as well. You keep going to Kyushu, there's volcanoes, so it's like, do I want to go there? But, overall, I think it's safe. I think people shouldn't worry too much about it. I joke around, but that's like everywhere, right? The whole world's not as dangerous as people think. So it's okay to leave Japan and go somewhere else. It's okay to come to Japan and live here for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Do you plan to stay here like forever, or you want to go somewhere else? Because you said like you like traveling, you want to experience new things.
I don't know, Charissa. How long do you plan to be here? I think, yeah, maybe it's a possibility to be here forever. Grow a family over here and a business and all of that. If everything goes well, then yeah, I can see myself living here.
Tell us more about that, like what kind of business you're doing right now, and is it going great, or what's the difficulties of like owning a business here as a foreigner?
Well, I joined with my business partner right now, language school in Hiroshima, right? It used to be just an English school, but we grew it. I also speak Spanish, of course, so I'm also teaching Spanish. And we got some French teachers and German teachers. The school is called A Globe in Hiroshima, so if people want to check it out, go for it. Or right now, the new business, thank you. The new business that I'm starting is called Bawi Languages, and that's online-based classes. Difficulties, the question that you were asking me was, I think it's just the language. I think that's the biggest difficulty. If you can get the language and be able to do business speaking properly, I think it's good. And this is how I teach too. Communication is very important, the way that we interact with each other. And the way that we interact with each other, it depends on which language you're using. Regardless of the person or the person's background, is which language. So for example, if I'm speaking Japanese and I can speak it correctly and politely and properly, I feel like that opens up a lot of doors. Of course, many people do study English over here as well, but it's hard to communicate. To be completely honest, it's hard to communicate in English in this country.
Like I don't use Japanese in my daily life here, but still, when there's COVID and, the government's letter and stuff, those things are like in pure Japanese, so there's no English. So you still need that.
Yeah. Like going to the bank, going to the word office, city hall, and all those things. Imagine if I went to Thailand and I spoke Thai, I would be able to do a lot more, wouldn't I?
Yeah, and people are going to be like, they're going to like you more. Like,
Exactly.
appreciate, oh, you speak Thai, your Thai is so good, and they want to know you more. A thing or things that you like the most about Japan, and things that you dislike about Japan.
Let's see, what do I like? I like convenience stores. Love convenience stores. Oh my god, those places are so convenient.
We have a lot of convenience stores in Thailand.
Oh,
Also,
really?
We have like lots of 7-Eleven, and so now we're starting to have like family marts. I guess I'm not sure. I haven't gone back home for like years, so I don't know how it is right now. But yeah, we have a lot of 7-Eleven in every single corner.
Wow.
In the country. What's so special about convenience store here?
If you need socks, you can buy some socks at the convenience store. If you run out of toilet paper, you can go to a convenience store. If you want to drink, if you want some alcohol, and you didn't go to the bigger store or the liquor store, you can go to the convenience store. If you want food, you can go to a convenience store and the food's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I do eat that a lot, and it's there everywhere, everywhere. Something similar to what you said about Thailand, like in every corner. But I didn't see that, like either in Canada or in Colombia. For example, in Canada, there were government stores, let's say. So there was a time, so you could only buy alcohol until 9 p.m. or something like that. And then there's something else that's called last call. If you go to a bar, if you go somewhere to an izakaya, for example, to drink, which is a Japanese bar, and they won't kick you out until they close, which may be 5 a.m. That's amazing, because in Canada there's a last call, which is 2 a.m.
Oh, the same.
All right.
Yeah, but I think now since there's COVID and we have like a state of emergency stuff going on, so I'm not sure, like 10.
10, yeah. Many people say that Tokyo, and we watch these videos on YouTube or whatever, how Tokyo is just packed. You have to get pushed inside the trains. I haven't seen that yet. I'm waiting for it. Have you experienced that?
All the time.
Oh, really?
All the time. Yeah, it's struggling.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal though. Like, you don't want to experience that. Like, once is enough.
I think it's just those times, the rush hour time.
Yeah.
If you avoid those, you'll be okay.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
because of my line of work, or you're doing the same or something similar too, we don't have that schedule. So I'm kind of lucky in that sense, because I don't get up to take the train. At what time is it packed?
Rush hour, usually like from morning, like 6, 7. The craziest time is around 8, 9 in the morning, and again in the evening, like 6, 7.
Oh no, I'm asleep at 8. I'm just waking up at 9.
So talking about teaching English here, a lot of Thai people want to teach English here, and okay, since you're co-owning a school right now and you're having your own school right now, do you think there's a chance for a non-native English speaker to be a teacher here?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think you need to be from a certain place in order to teach a language. If you are proficient on it and you can communicate, and moreover you can explain it, I think you're okay. For example, the people who are native speakers, let's say, who speak English as a mother tongue, they of course they know the language and they know the pronunciation and they know how to speak. But what I think gives the other side, the other people who were born in different countries and learned English and now are teaching it, what I think gives them an advantage over the other people who are natives or native speakers, they learned that. That means that they have a better idea on how to explain it, and they've been through the difficult parts of learning that language. If you learned English as a second language, you remember the mistakes that you made, or you remember that something was hard or that you couldn't get it, and you can assimilate and sympathize with that student, which I think is very important. Honestly, people don't know until they do it. So if you're thinking about teaching a language in a foreign country, let's say Japan, just give it a try.
Do you find it stressful living here? And if you do, like how do you cope with it?
That's a good question. Because I feel like many people don't talk about this. Over here in Japan, it is a stressful country. And sure, it's great, and we both like living over here, right? It's good, but having said that, it can be stressful, especially if you're working for a Japanese company. A lot of the times here, it's a little bit antiquated, the way of thinking. It's kind of old-fashioned, too old-fashioned, I would say. And they want you to stay working too much, too long, without getting any sort of compensation for it. That means that I know people who have been working a full year without taking any days off, and then they just, they stack up. So they have all these days off and they can't use them. And I ask, why can't you use them? Because you're legally allowed to or bound to be able to use them. But they're like, no, because if I don't do this, then the whole project will collapse, or I'm the only one who can, or the boss is putting a lot of pressure on me, or I'm frowned upon. This is the main one. I'm frowned upon by my colleagues and my bosses for taking time for myself or for my family. So it's here, I feel like it's all about work. People just concentrate on working or studying. Not everybody, but a lot of people don't give some time to themselves. So honestly, I feel like that's correlated to like suicide rates over here, depression Like so many people who suffer from depression over here in this country, and I feel like it's all going towards that. Working too much, not taking care of yourself, and really nobody really taking care of you.
I see an opportunity like in the future is changing, and especially during COVID, it's just pushing everything like faster. But I still feel like in some community, in some firm, they're still not accepting that concept of like working from home or having a break. But I do know that like I've got a few friends who's like said like, oh, my company forced me to take a few days off. So I think that's changing, but not all firms, of course. But you gotta look for the right one.
Yeah. So again, we're generalizing, saying that a lot of places, but of course, a lot does not mean every single place. Like Charissa, you were just saying that there are some places that are catching up. I would honestly say catching up to the rest of the world in terms of thinking mentality, but working mentality. But there are good places over here. And I think you've said this before in one of your other videos, but the whole black companies, that's a big thing here.
Yeah.
So just watch out.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's say if you ever have to release stress, what would you do here? Like, is there a thing or anything that you feel like comfortable, or a place that you feel comfortable going?
Right here, where we are. Yeah. Doing this with you. This is relaxing for me. I like this park, to be honest. I like this park a lot. And it's relaxing. I want to find more places over here in Tokyo. What I would do is I go to cafes and then I do something that I like. So for example, I like studying, to be honest. I like studying languages mainly. So I go to a cafe and just practice some Japanese.
Do you know that some Japanese people, they actually go to the karaoke alone?
Oh my god, here people do a lot of things alone. So let's go back to another question, which was, what do I like about Japan? Over here, they don't care. If they want to sing, they go by themselves. They want to go to a restaurant, they go alone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, no one's gonna look at you for doing things alone. In Thailand, people will like, doing things alone is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So if you
Same.
So if you go somewhere alone, you feel an urge to like post something on Facebook or tweet something like, I'm doing this alone, I'm so lonely. So but I don't see that here. It's pretty normal here.
I wasn't like that. I didn't do things by myself before, and I feel like a lot of people miss out on things because let's say I wanted to go for a drive. I wanted to go drive somewhere far, and I would call my friends and it's like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go out. And it's always the same things, which is why I left Canada, to be honest. I'm done with the routine or people saying no. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do things by myself. But then I would not go to a restaurant. I would not go to the movies. People go to the movies by themselves here. Good for them. I still don't, but
really?
Good for them. Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like even when in Thailand, like I just go to a movie alone. Here, I feel very comfortable living here because I go wherever I want to go. I travel alone, and yeah, it's pretty normal here.
It is very, very normal.
So one more thing, like in Canada it's super cold, right? But in Thailand it's a tropical country. So we're not used to like this kind of weather. Now I'm crying because it's so windy. You're wearing it's
a little bit hot, so I have to roll my sleeves up.
There's like a culture here where like they changing clothes like swiftly according to the calendar, not according to the temperature.
No, underneath this sweater I'm wearing a t-shirt. Like clothes don't change. You just put on more clothes. That's it. So, for example, winters in Canada are colder. Like at least Toronto is cold in the winter. February minus 35 or so.
That's freezing.
Yeah.
I know, like I complain a lot in summer, and people are like, "You're from Thailand, like how?" But still, it's different. Like I don't know how to explain that. But it's brutal. Like. I swear it's brutal. The last part of it, I'll see if like 6 years gonna change you or not. So how Japanese are you? If we're in izakaya and I'm your senpai, and what would you do if I say like, hey, kanpai?
Kanpai.
Okay, you passed the test. And if I'm your kohai,
乾杯
what about if we're friends and we're like, kanpai?
It's kind of like
If you're on the train and someone calls you, what would you do?
nothing.
Would you pick up?
No, nothing.
No.
So, in my pocket.
Okay, so you know the rules. You know the rules. Okay.
Don't answer the phone. Don't answer a phone call on the train.
Mhm.
You learn that here.
But can you talk on the train?
This is ridiculous. Yes. So, like, I saw one person. They had their phone and they were like very quietly, just like, "Hey, how are you? Okay, I can't talk or whatever." And then next to them, a group of teenagers, some high school students, like being very loud, but they're there talking, and the person who is speaking quietly to the phone gets looked at, like stared at. It's like I don't understand. What's the point?
There's so many reasons. Like I actually I tested my friends. Like I asked most of my Japanese friends, and they all gave me like different answers. Some of them said that cell phones will kind of interrupt the someone who's having a pacemaker. I don't know. It's like, but everyone's using smartphones right now, so it doesn't really make sense. And then I asked another one, and he said that it's because when people are on the phone, it's kind of distracting. I don't know. It's like a one-way communication, so people feel kind of annoyed. That's what they said. So yeah, thank you for joining me. It's like it's the first episode here, so I hope you guys enjoy and you learn something from here. And yeah, well, I would probably ask you to be here again. So
love to.
Okay, so yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Beto, can you repeat after me?
Okay.
ใครขายไข่ไก่
Kai 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 kai.
Oh, you're good. Oh, that was unexpected. Okay.
That's good.
No, that's good because like you're